It's Manchu. Welcome to Divergence SMP. It's hard to believe that this SMP started about a year ago. And after a year on this realm with all the other content creators, well, a lot has been accomplished. And I think on a year anniversary, it's a good time to take a tour of everything that I've done over the last year. And maybe a few things that other people have built too. So I'm starting here at the very bottom of the world, underneath my base. There is a 5-chunk area here that are slime chunks, 5 slime chunks side by side that I decided to mine out. I don't know, I was bored once and decided to just do that. Even I do some things that are pretty tedious once in a while. Despite that, I don't get a lot of slime spawning in here, even though I know they're slime chunks. I guess the area around isn't sufficiently spawn-proof. And then here, still under the base, I have a cactus farm that produces lots of cactus for me. I made a video demonstrating this build back as kind of an April Fool's joke. And then up above the cactus farm is my basement laboratory. This is at about the C4 level. I have a number of interesting specimens here in my laboratory. One of each kind of zombie. A wither skeleton, a blaze. A lot of these creatures have something that describes some details about them, which I won't read right now. But if ever you download the world, you might have a chance to look at it. This portal room, I guess you'd call it a portal room, I've decorated over the year with a number of things. I have some spare armor here, as well as a little poem written by one of the other creators, my friend Chicken. Once in a while, you might find around this base hidden a cod here or there. It's kind of a running joke we've got. The outer rings of my base, I haven't done a lot with these, but laid out some flowers. And I have a crop farm over here, which I hardly ever use anymore, but it's here. This is more of an early game type of thing to build a crop farm. But you can see I have lots of torch flowers and pitcher plants because I made a sniffer farm over here. From the inside of this, it's hard to see anything because there's so many sniffers in here. I don't know if I can get to a point where I can get a vantage point to see stuff. It's just wall-to-wall sniffers in here. There we go. There's all the sniffers. I have allays here to pick up any of the seeds that these sniffers dig up. And I also have an automatic farm for bees here to get honey and honeycomb. And some allays to pick up the bottles of honey and the honeycomb. Puts everything in this chest here. So you see we've accumulated quite a lot of stuff here. And up one more level is my main storage area. This is where I keep the bed that I sleep in most often. And I've tried to organize my storage fairly well. There's also additional shulkers here. This is everything that was in my ender chest. All the stuff in the chests over in this area used to be in this. This is a storage device. I saw a video by Silent Whisper on how to do this, which allows you to store unlimited amounts of stuff. You put minecart with chest in here, and you push the button, it dispenses the minecart with chests, and you can dispense multiple of them. Put any items you want to store into this chest, and it just loads it into these. And you can unload it through this minecart hopper once you flip these switches to unlock them so that they'll pull stuff from above. But the thing is, even though you can store an effectively limitless amount of stuff in here, it only unloads as fast as this hopper can move items out. So it's kind of slow to unload. And that's why I abandoned this storage eventually and just moved everything into all of these chests here. All of this cobbled deep slate and all of this prismarine shards and prismarine crystals were once in that infinite storage space. Moving on to the next level up here. This is a Guardian farm, and this thing, I can just turn it on to show off. It produces huge amounts of experience. It's a really good way to get levels. It's just that because it has so many tridents in it, it's not really practical on a realm because other people really can't effectively use this. They'd have to pick up all of the tridents and rethrow all of the tridents. And I go up top to the surface here, and you can see up here I have a farm for drowned. I got rid of any way to get up here except by flying. There's a switch to turn it on. And I can use this to get myself a little bit of copper, lots of rotten flesh, lots of tridents, lots of nautilus shells. I mostly use it for the tridents because that Guardian farm needed several dozen tridents. I can make my way over to here. My original base camp was down here before I built my main base. And over here, I slapped together really quick a mob farm here that was designed for collecting mob heads. So there is a space over here. There's a lightning rod right there that I could throw a channeling trident at in order to strike any creepers here with lightning, and then I could use flint and steel to light up their feet and set off the charged creeper and get myself mob heads. I did something similar to this in my Java Edition world too, but it's a lot more of a chore to do there. I can come down here and show my storage tank for charged creepers. I have a bunch of these guys. I've obviously used name tags on them to name them. And these were for getting piglin heads. For those, I had to move them one at a time on a rail cart over to this portal into the nether. And then once they're in the nether, I'd get a bunch of piglins in the place where the creepers were going to end up in through this portal. Just hop through here really quick to show you what it looks like over there. Hopefully there isn't a charged creeper on the other side. I don't think there is. So they'd fall down in here, and I had a route to get the piglins in through there. And here I had a lot of golden boots because piglins that are wearing armor that they picked up are going to be persistent. I don't need to use name tags. I can just give them the golden boots. They will always pick them up and always put them on and become persistent. So I'd get some piglins from out here in this Crimson Forest area, put them in a boat, get them down into there, and get the piglin heads that way. I tried doing something similar to that in my Java world and found that it was a pain in the butt. Oh my god, it was such a pain. Now moving on, I can go down here to my nether hub. I built this hub in a number of tunnels to connect to other people's bases down here at the bottom of the nether, because in the process of blasting out these tunnels, I could also collect a lot of ancient debris. But before I show more of that nether hub, let's show off my trade hall over here. I found a zombie spawner early on in this realm and built around it a villager trade hall and iron farm, on the theory that there was this little mechanic in the game where when a zombie villager spawns near a villager, that villager gives you discounts, the same kind of discounts they would give you if you had cured a zombie villager near them. They just give you that discount if a zombie villager spawns near them. It used to be that that discount stacked, so the more times zombie villagers would spawn from the zombie spawner, the more they would accumulate discounts. That was nerfed so that you only get that discount once now. It's not stackable. So these guys still give me some discounts, but it's not the huge discounts they used to give. Got a little enchanting table set up over here. Oftentimes I use a villager trading hall as my source of experience for much of the game. And you can see the iron golems burning up in there when they spawn. And back in the nether, another thing that I built fairly recently was this piglin bartering setup. I have a piglin here, and you just put gold in this chest and it will, when activated, this piglin will complete about 2 or 3 barter transactions a second. And all that stuff gets picked up and stored in my storage system down here. Nice little setup. I didn't have much time to use it. Now, I'll take this boat on this ice road out to World Spawn. There's a side passage over here that leads to Kat's base. She's responsible for that whole tunnel there. I didn't do anything with that. But this will get me from my base to World Spawn and back fairly quickly. The portal comes out at World Spawn right on top of my shop. I modeled this after, the top of an ocean monument. I was thinking that I would put things in here that were found kind of in the ocean. There's one of those cod I was talking about earlier. So I initially had books that were enchanted with, Trident enchantments or Aqua Affinity Respiration, the kind of enchantments that you use around the water. Those didn't really sell very well. I also had Tridents for sale. I sold a few of those. But the thing that was really the big seller here was shulker boxes. Yep. That went really well. And the Edrods and Sea Lanterns, those sold really good. Other people have built a lot of things here, like this huge supermarket over here with lots of things for sale. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't want to think about it. Maybe one of the other content creators could tell you what that is. I also had for sale a lot of beacons, and I've certainly used a few beacons for decoration. I have these beacons on the corner of my shop that occasionally they change color, although it's kind of subtle, so it may be hard to see when it happens, but yeah, you see right there, it changed color. And I built this other weird thing here. It's kind of a way to display the dragon egg. And there's another beacon here, which I can flip a switch and turn that beacon off. Flip a switch and turn it back on again. I went to the trouble to actually get some camels and bring them back to World Spawn. Put them up for adoption here. And you can see I have it stocked with cactus and saddles, so you can saddle up your camel and breed some if you want to. I swear I got somebody shooting at me, but I don't know. Somebody's shooting at me. What are they doing over there? Ah! It's a monkey! It's a monkey! Ah! I don't know who that was or what they were up to. Anyway, continuing on the tour. I think Silly's playing around with me there. Over here we have a wheat maze. This is something that the Married in Minecraft team built. We had this challenge to build pretty much anything we could think of to build, anything we wanted to build in a single chunk. And see what kind of creative ideas we could come up with. I added that shrieker. This was another of their contributions. The Rot Dog stand. It's kind of a cool idea. They have some place selling concessions. Dig and Truth's made this nice bouncy castle here. Yes, there's slime down there. Whew. This is where the floor got removed. I can bounce up and down on this. That's kind of fun. And the Snifferarium. That's kind of like a petting zoo. So all of these contributions in the One Tuck Challenge, over here we have the shooting gallery. They all ended up looking like something you'd find in a kind of a carnival atmosphere. There's a zombie spawner somewhere underneath this chunk that was used, and when you activate it, you could have zombies coming up there and walking back and forth, and you could use them for shooting practice. But it's all part of like a carnival kind of atmosphere. My contribution is kind of not along the same lines. I built this statue with fountain. And it's pretty to look at, but does it really fit in the theme with everything else? I don't know. Work my way back over through here. We have a post office where you have all of the content creators have a mailbox. If there's stuff in their mailbox, this lamp lights up. That's a pretty cool build. Another one by Married in Minecraft. My contribution was the redstone for the lights that light up when the mailboxes are full. I also put one of these recovery compasses down here because this is very near to world spawn. In fact, this pillar here marks world spawn, so it's a good place to have these recovery compasses if somebody needs them. There's a lot of other things that content creators have built around here, and I'd rather leave it to them to show what they've built, but there is some pretty cool stuff here. There's a large farm over here that's combined gold farm and general purpose mob farm, and a lot of people have been using that to get levels, repair their mending stuff. But this is something I built over here, a spaceship. I'm not sure what inspired me to build a spaceship, but I decided I'd build one. And it looks like there's still some of the crew of the spaceship still on board. I wasn't sure if they'd wander off or not, but they're still here. These are the visitors from Centauri. Explorers from a distant star come to explore this world. They also collected some samples of various types of fauna. And flora. Stuff that creatures from Centauri might find interesting or worthy of experimentation. Samples worth taking back home with them. And here we have our engine room. I think it looks kind of impressive, this engine room. I have to tell you, it was scary to build it. Don't touch the floaty things, friends. Down there you can see from here the ship that I built for the shipbuilding contest. I'm not going to show that off too much here. I've already shown that off several times before. I also built this little flight course here, which has caused the death of many people on this realm. I can't say I've ever died on it, but it is not as easy as I thought it would be. It's the first course like this I've ever made. It's been a while since I've run through this course. We'll see how well I remember it. Oh, now I missed a ring. Well, what can I say? I'm a bit rusty. As I said, it's been a while since I've run this course. Over in this village, I did build something there, but I'm not going to show that off either. Maybe someday you might get a chance to see it yourself. Think of it as a little Easter egg. And how will you ever see this stuff that I didn't even show off in any of my videos and not going to show you now? There may be coming at some point a world download available. And that might be sometime soon. I botched that flight terribly, but I have succeeded at that in the past. I have it on video. There's documented proof that I've done it. Let's see, what else can I show off? Well, it's a bit of a trip, but out here I made a couple of other farms. And these are the kind of farms that you don't need to visit that often, so I never made a full ice boat road to them. Ah, here at last, at my Wither Skeleton farm. It was quite the ordeal to build this thing. And it's not something that I'd recommend people build unless they really need a whole lot of Wither Skeleton skulls. But I did. And I built this farm for it. Your standard trident killer here. And I'm sorting all the swords into here, the stone swords, so I can get rid of them. All the other drops go into here. Doesn't take too long AFK at this farm to accumulate a whole lot of bones and coal and quite a few skulls. I also made a blaze farm, not at this nether fortress, but at a different one. It was a dual blaze spawner farm, but I'm not particularly happy with the results of how they came out. I think if I had to do it over again, I'd do it differently. If you do get the world download, well, see if you can find it. Next time I build a blaze farm, I'll build it better. But for now, I'm going to head back to world spawn and show off what I used all those wither skeleton skulls for. Here it is. Whoa, you see that? You see all those blue skulls flying through the air? That's an indicator that I'm near my wither farm right here. So I think I still have the footprint of it laid out right here. I took this end gateway, got rid of the actual portal in it, and converted it so that I could use it to summon withers. If I place the soul sand for the wither in those spaces where the crying obsidian is, and then put the wither skeleton skulls on that, the wither will appear. Oh, I just pissed that guy off. It's freaking Enderman. The wither will appear inside of there and will suffocate inside the bedrock. Unfortunately, it leads to the withers shooting out a lot of blue skulls, and as I summoned many withers and got a lot of nether stars and made a lot of beacons from it, it got so bad that it was crashing the server. This design works, but I think there's a better way to do it. The next time I decide I'm ever going to farm for a lot of nether stars, I will attempt to use a different technique that's not quite as bad at crashing the server. Underneath here I had a beacon set up, just in case I should have to fight the wither if it got out. And I flooded a lot of area to try and protect it from the wither skeleton skulls doing damage. Not sure it helped that much. But this isn't the only farm I built in the end. I also built a shulker farm, which is over in this direction. Oh, so many blue skulls. They'll just fly forever till they get out of simulation distance, and they'll just hang out there until somebody gets them into simulation distance again. There it is. There it is. This is it. Ooh, I was gonna need to worry. It is pretty far away. I didn't just look at the Enderman, did I? Head to the safety pool. I used this when I was building the farm, so if Enderman got upset at me, I could hide in this pool and they can't get to me. Doesn't look like they're upset at me, though. Here is where I built my shulker farm. It's still working. You can see you have the snowmen on either side shooting at the shulkers, aggroing them. They shoot the bullets, but because there's 2 soul sand on either side with bubble columns, the shulker bullets never reach them. Eventually the shulkers get killed by their own bullets and drop shulker shells. It's not very fast, but I have 3 cells set up here. You spend, 30 minutes to an hour AFK here, you're going to get several stacks of shulker shells, which is pretty good. Major Man and Bad Rabbit came to observe while I set this up. And Major Man has this thing about Elytra. He does not like to fly. Because of that, he actually built a tunnel/bridge that's a safe path from here all the way back. I think I'll travel this path myself because I'm getting low on rockets. Alright, back to my nether hub. There's one last thing I want to check out. Warden Ball. And the route there is courtesy of yet another tunnel that I made. Major Man and Bad Rabbit tend to like to travel a long distance, find some village someplace, and make it more safe and secure. It means if you want to travel to whether they are working on the realm at the moment, you usually have to travel pretty far. Warden Ball is their creation. Here we are at the famous Warden Ball. Why is this armor stand here? Set that guy down. Like I say, Major Man and Bad Rabbit like to take a village and save it. They've actually taken villagers and moved them in to an ancient city, which is pretty impressive. It's like a whole community with an entire economy built up around the sports arena. I built this thing outside the arena. It's a little concession stand with a statue with poses. And you can get various fish here. They made me one of the Warden Ball sponsors, and so for that I made a consistent stand and a billboard. Let's see if I can get a good vantage point. That used to have a different sign. They changed the billboard for some reason. Don't ask me why. Some kind of trauma. But there's my billboard for my main base being under the sea. I call it Rapture Farms. And I have more of those armor stands that do the various poses as well. But this here is the arena where all the magic is going to happen. I'm recording this the day before we're going to have a big Warden Arena match. There is in here a number of Shriekers. When they go off and the Warden appears, well, it's kind of like a game of Capture the Flag, except with many, many, many Wardens playing goalie. I realize that this has been a probably pretty incoherent, unscripted tour of the Divergence SMP realm. What I could think of to show off, and mostly just the stuff that I made and not stuff that other people made, but there is so much on this realm to see. After a year of people working in it, a lot of stuff's been done. And there should be a world download available. I don't have the links to it. What I do have is the links to the Divergence Discord, and on there you should find more information about a world download if one is available. But for now, I need to make some preparations for Warden Ball coming up soon. Check that out next time on Amon Chooses Divergence SMP.